Just sun is on the rise once again. We heard Clifton's a going in eagle trip. Blast off on the spaceship. Million miles from reality. I am sorry it's a little late. My Wi-Fi went off, but a variety of audience, and I have a variety of requests. So I've decided that I'll do the English version. So to say what it is I want to say, and then I'll do the Fanti, Enchi, and other local languages later on, explaining the same thing. Just let it sit. Do you know what the world is going to be like? 3. This is the Africa we want by the year 2063. In this agenda, when you read it, the document, it is the Africa that we want by 2063. Yet, this is being created currently with decisions of the older generation. Older generation who will not be alive in 2063. They won't be here, but they are some other generation to come and benefit it in 2063. So my question is, where are the benefits? From when I was a kid, but when I was in the States, and I go, it's an amazing document. But the people who are creating it, they are the older generation now. Then, how we are choosing to build our societies and our new social norms. And how have you lived normal enough to not see the change to learn anything? What I learned during this COVID-19 period is that we need to avoid touching your mouth, your eyes, and your nose. And this is so often done wrong. I almost just touched my nose. I have a personal question. The glass shield that people are wearing now as the face mask, what exactly does that protect? I have seen people in the hospital, but the virus doesn't fall like rain. No, it's not coming in like the sun's ray. And I'm in my room alone, so I can take it off. If people don't care enough for the well-being of themselves, which is why they don't wash their hands regularly as is required, or sanitize their hands as required, why do you think that they are going to take any care when dealing with you so they don't contaminate you? Why? Why should they put in that extra effort for you? They wouldn't. The purpose for which I believe in the social distancing is because I don't know how clean or unclean somebody is, so let me just stay in my zone. This is all going to lead back to our children and the choices and everything, but give me a minute. How many times do you catch yourself touching your eye, your nose, your mouth, your face in general? How many times do you catch yourself doing that? I too many, often. And when you do you wash your hands? Do you sanitize? As we know, we often say knowledge is power. I'd say practicing of knowledge is power. Just knowing something is not enough. You have to practice it. Just knowing it is not enough. So if we know and we don't practice, we touch our eyes and all of that, and we forget, and we feel, oh, I just washed my hand in the morning, so, and I'm home alone. So if we do that, imagine what your children do. Imagine what your children do when they're alone. Imagine. We are grown. We are supposed to know better, and yet we take shortcuts. So what do you think your children do? They are out there communing together in schools with quote unquote rules and supervision. And I say supervision in quotes because not long ago, not to remind the family of their pain, but it's worth mentioning that we have lost a son at KNUST, SHS. I'm sure everybody knows the story and why we think that happened. Let's remember that this is what we are asking the media not to do, not to say things that they don't know, not to contort stories, not to take it out of context and just blow it out of proportion or say it as they think is what it means. So in this case, I want to say I don't know the cause. I don't know enough to say. I can say that not much is a precaution were taken. There were no social distancing from the photo I have seen. Story about the KNUST SHS, the unfortunate event. This is now, son today, does not mean it just might not be your daughter tomorrow. It might be, you can see the picture. You can clearly see the picture with, I wish I could show it. Wait. See, I don't know how clear it is, but there are the students. Tell me the social distance. None, zero social distancing. They are as close as we used to be when we were in assembly in secondary school. This picture is the reality. This picture is the reality of what the schools your children are in now. Look at it and you see how close your sons are standing together, and in this day and age, if they are dead. That's why I'm discussing this prior to the topic that I intended to talk about. Everybody is doing something doesn't make it right. So my first question is it true that our president is in isolation? And whilst he is in isolation, our kids are gathered as are out there. One is dead. The other day there was this proverb: is it, you have 100 sheep, and you go graze with them, and you lose one. You leave the 99 to go and look for the one. So let's look at it like it's just one child that died. Okay, it could be your child next time. Then what? Then what? If our president is isolated, I'm extremely happy because I need him alive. I am Ghanaian, I need my president. But I also wish for him to isolate our kids the same way he's isolated. We don't need to repeat Philadelphia. Philadelphia is a story, I'll come to it. In my opinion, Our president has been a pace setter. Officials, when they got to the country from abroad, he's been tracing and tracking and giving updates most Sundays until he quarantined himself. He's been doing amazing. So I'm happy if he's quarantined. But I'm saying that if it has become imperative for him as the father of the nation to isolate himself, then I think it will only be fair to save the lives of our future generations. If it seems strange, then why have Nigeria done it? Haven't Nigeria cancelled the WAEC? The federal government of Nigeria has just announced that schools under its control will not be reopening for the forthcoming West. WAEC is a family. It's 5 countries. They do everything in unison. So what happened? What has happened now? Why is it that one country, at least that I know for sure, can get up and say, listen, it's enough? You think it's more dangerous, like more widespread in Nigeria, and so even if we have one contain this virus, and so we are willing to risk the lives of our children to this deadly unseen. Are we confident enough to stand firm and say, oh, we can contain it, so let them go to school? Are we that confident? I'm not. I'm not. This virus for me is yet to be controlled, but we are taking the risk in the name of an exam. How many schooling abroad? How many of the people in power have their children schooling abroad? Mandatorily send your kids to school. Their children are elsewhere, but they are safe in their homes learning online. My children are home learning online. Are yours? We have Zoom, we have Moodles, we have Facebook Live, we have Instagram Live, we have YouTube Live, Skype, WhatsApp video calls. We have all the platforms, all too many of them that we can use. Some child, if he's lucky, and watch her lay at the feet of a grave while he listens planned prior to the Spanish flu. Some states like St. Louis, they didn't allow the, it says the spread of the, so in this article, it's compared history. It is extremely necessary. Just look at the Philadelphia story in 1918 and the spread of the flu. And I'm going to read a bit of it. It says how the Spanish flu hit Philadelphia, University of Pennsylvania Archives and Records Center. It didn't reach the US until the spring of 1918 that they still went for the parade. They wouldn't have died that much. Isn't that same as what we are trying to do or currently doing? Why can't we emulate Nigeria? Why can't our children, the life of our future generation, our future leaders, they are in school right now, right in a supposed to be their lives? Or the money? Can't we rather spend the money we are going to give them free data so they can be in the house and go online? Can't we do that? Isn't that more cheats for our children? Kindly answer this for me first. You tell me if you think it is possible for Ghana alone to write the same exam, which is meant for students who live in all the 5 English speaking West African countries, which is Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Liberia, the Gambia, and then we are one. Were the students asked their preference? Please, let's now get to the purpose of this evening. Were the students asked their preference if they want to go to school, or were they told to just do without them? Why? Just as you have put them in your cars and dumped them at. So I know for a fact that nobody asked their children if they want to go to or not. If they did, it to be very few of them. And what did they result in? And if you ask your child and they said they don't want to go to school now, and so they are home, like they took a gap year for this COVID-19, please share your story. Share your story. But just as it might not be their choice because you probably didn't ask them for their preference before you send them to school, I want to know this very important question. When it comes to going to college and or picking a course for your children, who has the ultimate say? Who has the final say? Is it the father? Is it the mother? Is it both parents? Or is it the child? And if your answer is not the last one, you are wrong. You are dead wrong. You know enough to guide them. You know enough to suggest for them, but you don't know enough to force them to do what you think is right. It's their lives. It's their lives. Why do we so often quickly forget what it was like for us when we were growing up? Growing up, we didn't like most of the things our parents did. I, for one, passed complete, more than enough, not the one that you had to go and pay bribe and try to get your daughter to go to a particular school. I passed to go to Holy Child, but long story why they didn't take me there. Your children, it is their lives. It is their lives, not yours. Don't force what you wanted to do on them or what you think somebody. Don't compete with your friends and your rivals and your siblings and your. Don't do that. Don't do that. It isn't everybody who is supposed to be an academic. It's not everybody who is supposed to be a doctor or a lawyer. It's not everybody. You planned your wedding the way you wanted it when you were a kid, and no matter what anybody said, that's what you wanted. Your child is growing up and they have their preferences, they have things that make them happy. Leave them to it and guide them life that's conducive enough for you. Do you know what the person do? Leave them to be comfortable enough to change their preferences. It's a learning curve. Nobody knows enough. We don't know it all. Things are changing. Who isn't affected by the coronavirus? Let me know. If you had transportation, you're affected. If you had a restaurant, you're affected. If you had in our homes, the dangers, they are more in our homes than on the streets. The dangers are not being able to talk, not being able to express yourself. You need to stop. Let your children be. And if you are a parent in Ghana, sit up. Sit up. Have family meetings. Talk to your husbands and wives and your children. Ask them what really goes on in the schools. Go there. It's your right. If you go to a school to go and see the conditions under which your child is being kept for an exam and you are not allowed, withdraw your child. Everybody will say, oh, your children are in America. And yeah, I was here. I wanted to come and share with you how these things are doable. Okay, you don't have to know everybody or be a rich person before. It might be expensive, but it's doable. It's your choice if you want. So I will have to do that. Maybe the second part of this. And get up. It is not time to sit and watch and live in the norm and think everything is going to be all right when it's not that serious. Ashasi and what she wants to do, they are not reading it there yet. Now, So I'm saying that stop the competition and stop forcing your children. Please stop forcing your children. They will hate you. Don't live through them. Have that has the informations of where to go, what to do, what exams to write, where to get scholarships, and what to do to have yours be more effortless and smooth, smoother than mine, because I didn't have a roadmap, but I can give you the roadmap. So please, thank you for staying tuned. And most people are like that, but a time will come where we will realize that sensible conversations are more important than gathering around to laugh at somebody's downfall and all that negativity. So thank you so much for sticking tuned. I would do welcome with the second portion where I'll have the question and answers, especially from people who want to know that I have gone through it all and I know enough to want to share with you. So you do with it as you please. Thank you.